This is the third race today in our percent tournament. Soul Blazer. My name is the Benjinator, and I'm joined by my co-commentator, Super Big Kmart.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So, so we had a exciting series of games today, including one that had me in it for a little bit, but my software crashed, so I only played about 3 minutes. But today we actually have 3 competitors. We got Jin Tatsu, who actually played last year. He's a veteran of not just the Randomizer, but also he's a pretty prolific Soul Blazer speedrunner. We have a Name Faker who's actually got a pretty fairly nice repertoire there. He's plays Diablo 2, Zelda, Illusion of Gaia, all that good stuff. And then we have Queen Anne Boleyn, also a newcomer in this tournament, and co-commentator in the last race. Yeah, this should be a fun race. So far, we've had Kugelschnaps, Lost Core, and the Hulk all going to the finals tomorrow. So if you enjoy what you see here today, be sure to check us out at noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for the finals. It's going to be a 4-person race, and the winner of today's race is going to get to go on.
Sorry, I'm trying to reach our text so we can have the picture on Discord, so you can keep talking.
Yes. Okay. So one thing that should be mentioned is that the seeds on Soul Blazer, if you guys are not familiar, on average, it can kind of go, depending on experience, from anywhere between 2 hours to like almost 3 hours, depending on the seed. But so far, our times have kind of averaged out fairly decently. The last seed actually started out incredibly, just really, just kind of difficultly at first, or actually very easily at first. It opened up, and then finding usually that last can be kind of difficult. So we will, for those of you that might not be familiar with the Randomizer, we'll be explaining the bits and pieces. Yeah, exactly. Mirror saying if it's seems too easy, it's too easy. It can be somewhat demanding for sure. But we'll see what the seed has for us today. There's just a few more minutes, and then we will be getting started.
Okay. So
Also, it should be mentioned too with this Randomizer that technically it starts as soon as you hit that, because right now we're on the naming screen, so it starts as soon as you hit end. Depending on the game, sometimes the timer will start just a little bit earlier.
All right. So on the top of your screen, you will have a name faker, Queen Anne. At the bottom left, and Jintatsu, who wrote, will lose some time if he doesn't change his name, because yes, your name. If you have only one letter in your name, it will help you save time. It's a lot of seconds that you can win just by having one letter. So
Yeah, every extra letter is an extra frame, so it's a fairly common speedrunning trick for most, especially SNES era ones. Just the shorter names mean you're saving a little bit of time, and that can add up over time. Stormy, welcome to the chat. Fantastic job commentating earlier. I'll see if I can measure up. if me and Super Kmart here.
Yeah, usually I'm commentating in French, but it's a first for me. I will be doing it in English, but usually, usually when I'm on the local speedrunning in marathon, if the runner told me to speak in English, it's I can do it, but I wonder how it will go in a race setup. So
well, that's still more fluent languages than I have. So that's awesome. We got we actually have two. We're actually doing this in English and French. So there's actually the speedrun français. Is got one as well. So
yeah. So we are waiting for the signal. So for my part, I'm curious how good Jintatsu will do. He is someone really familiar with Soul Blazer since he's running it, the 80% US version.
Yeah, Jintatsu's fairly prolific in the SNES speed gaming community, and we actually were in similar races last year, so it was he's going to be. I mean, there's a lot of really great speedrunners in this particular contest, but he's kind of a veteran. He's an old favorite, but I mean, Namefaker did fantastic with some practice seeds before, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm still going to be rooting on Queen, but I'll try to stay as objective as possible.
Yeah, yeah, but I know English and French, but I wish to be more fluent in English, of course, to be more in touch with the speedrunning community. Sometimes when I speak in French, even the French don't quite understand me. So,
well, English is a kind of a tough language, so and any effort is always respected, because even though I grew up, even though it's my native language, it still has a lot of difficulties. It's a weird one. That's right, Queen.
Yeah, it's quite. When we go English, we go mode. This is kind of insights that we are in the Quebec speedrunning community. One day we forced our friend to speak in English, and he's really not at ease, and it's work hard for him, and he makes some quotable moments. So now, so now when we do some randos, we say when we go English, we go mode. So.
I see. All right, so it looks like we're off. Race is beginning. We're gonna see what that first item is gonna be, and it's an herb.
Okay,
there we go.
Let me see why my stream is on pause on my part. So,
no worries. We've had technical glitches all day, so it happens. So, So for those of you that may not be familiar with the Rando Blazer Randomizer, it actually came out a couple of years ago, developed by the Hulk, prolific speedrunner, and also contestant in this tournament. But basically what it does is that it randomizes the positions of the game's full of a bunch of different items and requirements to fight the final boss to complete the game. Death Toll, aka Satan, is basically the bad guy of this game, and it's a fun vanilla game. But in this particular version, you actually have some of the requirements that are scattered throughout the world. And in order to be able to complete the game, you need 6 stones. You need the soul armor, the soul blade, and the phoenix to be able to harm the final boss. You also need 3 red hot items: the mirror, the ball, and the stick. But you also need a bunch of NPCs, non-playable characters that are released. And there's we'll kind of get into what those are, but basically you need to be able to have access to all 6 worlds in the final world. But you also need to unleash a series of NPCs that actually make it so that you can physically walk to the king, but also to other areas there. So, yeah, Dwayne is correct. There are dancing grandmas that are involved, and you can actually see that each player has a tracker, and on that tracker you have 2 elvish-looking grandmas. Those are required to cast the spell that's necessary to be able to get to the palace of the final boss. But what we actually saw so far is that the Spirit Sword has been released, and the Spirit Sword is incredibly powerful. B has the ability to kill ghosts and spirits, which will allow these players to get to areas of the world that normally you wouldn't be able to get to, especially when you get to World 2 into World 6. So this seed is actually starting out very similar to the one that where my internet just kind of crapped out, that Lahok played. Spirit Sword is one of the first items. So right now, it looks like all these players are kind of on a similar trajectory, and this will start to diverge as the game goes on.
Yeah, as I see it, I think we're gonna have a Leo's painting early. So we got the brush, we got the architect. So now I think all we need is Leo's house. So Yep.
Oh yeah, I was just answering Sarah's question. Spirit Sword is the second most powerful sword in the game. Well, actually, no, it's third most. I apologize. Then there's the Recovery Sword, and then there's the Soul Blade.
Yeah, usually when you play the game vanilla, the Spirit Sword is mandatory. So because without it, you can move into the basement of Margaret Castle, but but in the randomizer, maybe you don't have to go to it. But now it seems we add it pretty much early in the game. It will help a lot the runners. But actually, with our early, Leo's painting, the sword that you want is the Sansetsu's sword. So Sansetsu is Japanese to that means cut through metal. So all the metal enemies will be beatable with the Santetsu or the Soul Blade.
Yeah, the Zantetsu sword or the Soul Blade, it's very desirable to get those early on, because when you especially get to the second world, there are metal scorpions that will allow you to get more items and release more NPCs. So one thing that should be mentioned is that Kmart here was suggesting that perhaps that there's a possibility of going to Leo's painting, but also they have access to the second world now because they released the house and the village elder, which means they can go, and it looks like Name Faker is opting. Actually, all 3 players are opting for the second world. So off they go.
Yeah, with the Spirit Sword, the enemy died pretty quickly, and usually on the rando. But one thing that you want to do in early game is to go to to advance the most in the acts, so your level can go up really more quickly. So this is what everybody up to, especially since we don't have the Sentetsu sword yet. So
And unfortunately, Queen Anne taking a death there. One of the drawbacks of, even though the players don't have magic yet, in this game, magic costs gems. So if you die, you lose all of your gems, unless you're carrying a item called a Strange Bottle, which are actually quite common. So fortunately for Queen Anne, it's not early enough where she's stockpiled a bunch of gems and needs to use it for things. So that's kind of a relief. But what you're actually seeing is that this is a somewhat unlucky distribution of enemies right now. Is that the bush monsters are temporarily invincible when you try to get near them. So they can be very painful early on in the game, especially if you don't have armor, which I don't believe any of the players do. However, once you get to level 5, you're actually going to see that the attack and defense becomes a lot more manageable. So getting to level 5 in World 2 is kind of the first thing you want to do, just because it makes it a lot easier.
So now we are into the water shrine. The marsh in the second world is separated in 3. So we have the water shrine, the fire shrine, and the light shrine. Actually, neither of our players can go into the light shrine, since we're gonna need the green wood leaf. So
yeah, the green wood leaf. Yeah, it can be kind of elusive to find that. It looks like Namefaker's a little bit ahead of everyone, but we actually did find is but these players are actually pretty close, and this is the part of the seed where usually there's not a whole lot of divergence, but that will solve itself later. And one thing that might be worth noting is that Namefaker did release the King, which is a important part of advancing in World 4, because in World 4 you need to be able to get to Gnome the Snail and to release the King in order to go to World 5. So World 4 can arguably be there's a lot of NPCs that need to be released to move on to the next world.
Yeah, actually, Gnome the Snail is in prison because the king didn't like something that Gnome said. So he imprisoned him, and actually the prison only opens when the king is released. So this is why we need both of them to open World 5.
Yeah, exactly. Gnome was a political dissident, so the king locked him up. But once he's released, you can talk to Gnome the Snail. He gives you an item, and you can go to the 5th world.
So now the Namefaker stays in an area that the statues can actually spawn. So he's kind of stuck now. He did the right thing, but actually with a slow spawn like this, it's not quite fun to do all that back and forth just to kill one statue.
Yeah, the statues can be one of the more painful enemies because, as you can see, essentially Namefaker has to take a variety of steps to make the statue spawn, and especially with that kind of like narrow walkway, it's more of a pain in the butt. And you know those statues in the vanilla game, you're never gonna see the statues as part of a monster lair. This is kind of a rando only thing. But now, of course, he's just dealing with lizards and mudmen, and those are way easier to deal with.
So the fairy gave nothing?
Yep. Nothing is an actual item in this game, and it always shows up when you really need something. And then that was also followed up by a mobile key, which is arguably another item that you never want to see.
So the Hungry Squirrel wants to exchange his strange bottle for a strange bottle for a delicious seed. So this is one in that we don't have to do that check, And now we have the bubble armor. So World 3 is now pretty much is not accessible when it will be open, because the bubble armor is not an armor made of bubbles. This is an armor that creates a bubble. So make it to be sure that no confusion is that nobody's confused.
Right, yeah, basically it's a underwater breathing apparatus. It's basically a scuba suit, and lets you go through a good chunk of World 3. And there's some seeds sometimes where the bubble armor is, you don't get it to the very end, which can be kind of a pain. But in this case, it's good because the players can advance through World 3 if they choose to, but also they have just a little bit more defense, because some armor is better than no armor.
So Queen Anne is in a tough spot now. She is in the second floor of the water shrine, but she only had the one health. So
she's gonna get 50 more. She's gonna get 50 more EXP to gain a level, but she's gotta be really, really careful.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess she got to use her medical herb to stay alive. Medical herb is a great item to have in early games, especially in the second war. In the water shrine, since it is way more tougher. This is pretty much the tough spot of the run. After that, you got a good amount of levels, so you can. So now you can soak up some of the damage, but
yeah, arguably this part of the run is probably the most difficult. Is Greenwood, because then after that you have a lot more access to items and so forth. So yeah, like getting through here is really where it kind of tests your mettle, is being able to get here and trying not to die as much as possible, because that can really kind of set you back. But I mean, so far runners doing pretty solid, just moving right through here. It's they still have not found the Woods Guardian yet, so that's going to allow them to go to World 3 and at least have access to Satherta. But depending on if the runners see the Zantetsu sword soon, they may decide to advance through to the Fire Temple. So we'll see. It's still there's not a huge amount of possibilities right now, but seeds can open up pretty quickly.
So one room that you don't want some statues. This is the one that Namefaker is doing actually, with all the spears. The spears are the enemies that gives the most experience point, but you can kill them. You can kill them unless you get the soul blade. So this is something that I learned. I think this week that you can kill them, but this is not something that you need in the game. So this is pretty much useless facts that you somehow know one day when you do randos.
Right, it's something that I didn't realize until I started playing this randomizer as well, is that, but yeah, if you get the Soul Blade early, you can, pretty much those spears will give you 3,000 EXP a pop, so it's a really easy way to get to level 24, which can allow you to swing the Soul Blade and effectively just plow your way through the game.
So Namefaker is actually in the lead, and now Jintetsu opens the last chest in the water shrine, which is the Dream Rod. The Dream Rod is quite a useful item to use. It allows you to enter into someone's dream when they are asleep. So we use it to unlock certain parts of the game.
Yeah, the each world, actually as Queen pointed out in the last game, is each world has one NPC that's asleep that you can get a possible item from. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody has somebody that's asleep. So it can be really useful, and sometimes, yeah, usually the Dream Rod shows up fairly early on, but every once in a while it can be kind of difficult to find. So it's always good to have the Dream Rod, especially when you're looking for new items. So unfortunately, just 300 gems in that chest by Namefaker, and of course, right now the players don't really have that much of a choice because they haven't found the Woods Guardian yet, which means they will have to press on to the Fire Temple to make progression. It's a little unfortunate because they don't have the Zantetsu sword yet, but that could change very quickly.
Yeah. The fire shrine is at the moment we can't finish it because we don't have the Sentetsu sword, but we got the spirit sword, so we can kill every enemy in the next shrine, the light shrine, if we find the greenwood leaves. Leaf. There's just only one of them.
And Namefaker just picked up literally the best spell in the game, aside from Phoenix, which is Light Arrow, which is going to make destroying enemies just a lot easier. It's got the highest range. It goes in all 4 directions. It's really useful to have, and you know, being able, as Stormy pointed out in her last broadcast, was being able to multitask and kill various enemies at once is definitely an important thing to have. So we'll see how these players are able to get rid of enemies all at once, and the faster, more efficiently they can do that, the better they'll perform.
So yeah, the light arrow was in the chest at the beginning of the game. Sometimes this is maybe some could have missed him, but usually everybody go check that chest. But the chest disappear once you unlock the stairs to go into the basement of the fire shrine.
Yeah, it's a chest that never has a required item, and once you step on the layer, it disappears. So, you know, if you're trying to save a little bit of time, some players will miss that chest, but as Kmart was pointing out, most people will get it at this point. It's better. It usually just helps you out a little bit more.
Even though if it's just a medical herb, when you already had one, the next one you get fill your HP bar. So this is not a good. This is not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, especially because right now, in a lot of seeds, players will sometimes have the Zantetsu sword at this point, which can be really helpful for 2 reasons. I mean, first of all, you're able to kill those scorpions, and each one of those scorpions has about 350 EXP, so you can level up pretty nicely. And now it looks like Namefaker has opened up the pathway to the rest of St. El's in the 3rd world. And also it turns out that the mermaid there has a purple stone. So we know of the location of one of the required stones for this particular seed.
Okay, now as I see, Queen Anne seems to have some difficulties with the teleporting lizard in the fire shrine. Probably, maybe.
Yeah, those are
yeah.
those are probably some of my least favorite enemies. But what the lizards do is that they will continuously teleport, just skipping 1 square at a time. And yeah, it's with the light arrow, it's a real fun spell to have. But you know, it's 8 gems a piece, so it's you can run low on gems pretty quickly if you're not careful. But it looks like she's got 545. She'll be fine. But it looks like Namefaker and Jintatsu. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily drifting apart quite yet, but it does look like Namefaker is right now got a fairly significant lead.
So, Namefaker now released the World Guardian, so now Saint Elias will be accessible.
Yeah, so I would expect after this for probably going to see Namefaker go to the 3rd world unless he's able to pick up the G leaf, the greenwood leaf at some point. Then I could see him possibly going to the Light Shrine, but kind of the standard play is to go to the 3rd world from here. The first couple of areas in each world is usually what you'll see with most players.
Yeah, especially with the Spirit Sword that allows us to kill the Spirit Sons in the Light Shrines. And since we can kill the the suns at the first time that we go into the light shrine, they give pretty much a lot of XP. The players can go up like 6 levels only with the sun. So
Yeah,
you
so
can,
it's like 1,000 a pop for the sun, so that can always be a very tempting prize as well. And one thing that you might have noticed too is that Namefaker also did release Gnome the Snail. However, one of the things that is noted about World 4 is that there still needs to be some other NPCs that need to be released in order to get to the snail. So, oh, and Jintatsu unfortunately taking a death right there.
yeah, this is one of the worst part that you can die. Namefaker, this is the Death War, but Jintatsu, unfortunately, he was at the end of the Fire Shrine, so he got and I'm surprised that he didn't take the teleport to the shrine that leaves you at the entrance of a Fire Shrine to go there faster.
Yeah, that's typically it's a good safety to have to be able to unleash that shrine, but some runners will just kind of take a risk and not use it. One thing too to mention is that Namefaker did pick up the Red Hot Mirror, so that is also one of the required items. And he is now proceeding on to the Lurta in World 3. So this, again, is a pretty typical play. Is going to the first area in each world, and hopefully he'll be able to find the Mermaid Queen here, and then we'll be able to go to the Mountain of Souls. Yeah, Namefaker doing a pretty good job too of being able to use the light arrow to maximum efficiency, being able to kill these enemies even before he's able to get over there, and just being able to take them out pretty quickly. So a lot of really good stuff here.
Yeah, Namefaker is now in the first area of Saint Elias, the third act. So I can't wait to see what it will be open with those shrines.
Oh yeah, definitely. It actually looks like, interestingly enough, it looks like Queen Anne has pulled ahead of Jintatsu, at least temporarily. Because she just released the Woods Guardian, and looks like Jintatsu is just about to release as well. So, oh, and there we go. Namefaker just releasing the Queen of Mermaids in the third world, which means that he will be able to go to the next area. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and a lot of the layers that are necessary in the fourth world are more to open that path to go to the king and to Num. So
yeah, typically the play from there is to try to get to Gnome as soon as possible, and then once that happens, you would have access to the fifth world. Of course, in the fifth world, the first area that you can go to is it requires the Zantetsu sword because the enemies are made of metal. So at some point, these players will have to find the Zantetsu sword before being able to get through World 5, and that typically will have a lot of stuff there.
Yeah. So yeah, Namefaker is still in the lead, followed by Jintatsu, who retook the lead against Queen Anne. Queen Anne now will go up into the fire shrine, and she didn't kill the souls at the end to open the path to that actually tied the end the entrance and the exit of the fire shrine.
All right, so Gentatsu is now looks like he's probably going to be heading in the same direction as Namefaker. And it looks like Namefaker is, as I sort of figured. Ooh.
And the queen gives the soul armor, so we got one of the key items in the run, and it will be pretty much in the security for the rest of the run. So great.
Yeah, you got the soul armor. You pretty much don't have to worry about dying unless you purposely take a lot of damage. But Namefaker looks like he's doing just a quick item check before moving on, which is kind of a curious play because usually if you're at this point and you got the soul armor, that kind of insulates you from having to worry about something like dying. But you know, sometimes doing item checks periodically can help you out. You might be able to get something that you might otherwise not be able to uncover until much later. Of course, Namefaker picking up what I call the bad luck emblem F, so not much there, unfortunately. But,
Yeah,
oh, never mind. Looks like Namefaker is going to be going to St. L's.
And Queen Anne went for the second part of Southern Hill first, so and it opens a great door that is quite useful. It opened the way for at least 5 checks. So, but usually, it's pretty rare that you have to do all that, all those checks. So, but it's something nice to have.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's when you get into World 5, there's a couple of item spots that can be that can sometimes have certain things, and that going through that door has a whole series of events that you can get items for. There's another door that's locked. There's 2 cats that need to be let out of the room and can possibly lead to 2 more items because of a rat and a plant that can give you something. So it's you know, it's one of these things that may pay off, that may not. It's not 100% required. So Namefaker looks like he's now going to the Mountain of Souls, which typically the front part has some good stuff. So, and look at that, Dancing Grandma #1, found in the front of the Mountain of Souls.
And now Namefaker tried with that. This is great that we have the light arrow, so Namefaker was able to kill the bats.
The purple flying bats, yeah.
At the top of the mountain, so this is something less annoying to do when he would be able to go at the top. And that shrine is quite, and that layer, I mean, is quite annoying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But at least at least you don't have 20 bats that shoots at you because, while they were spawning.
Yeah, I would say level 4, Act 4 is probably where you need magic the most. Is that you're gonna find later too? Is that there are wizrobes that can be killed from a distance, and if you get near them, they teleport and they re-teleport, and it takes up a ton of time, and they're just a pain in the butt. But it looks like Namefaker's picked up a second stone. And one thing that should be mentioned too is that Namefaker is so incredibly confident that he has still got the bubble armor on. He's not even trying on the soul armor.
Yeah, usually when we play the game vanilla, we it's kind of low level. That's compared to when you play the game vanilla. So it is quite a move to use, still using the bubble armor in the base of the mountain and now in Aurora Ridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pretty gutsy play, but at the same time, when you have the light arrow, it does make things significantly easier. I don't think that he'd be doing that if he didn't have any spells. But one thing that should be mentioned as well is that normally you can proceed from here if you have the mushroom shoes, but the mushroom shoes have not been found yet. And then you can go to Lay-Null from there. But usually Lay-Null can be a kind of a risky play because, I mean, first it can be just kind of a pain to get through, but second of all, it only has one treasure chest in Lay-Null. A lot of layers, but only one treasure chest. So going there can always be kind of a risky move.
So Namefaker swing his sword to make his soul way ahead of him to kill those bats. Pretty clever move here.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of just multitasking up on this mountain because the bats can be kind of they're sort of random in their movement as well. So if you can get them in kind of a nice vertical or horizontal line, it definitely helps. But pretty soon we are going to be seeing what we call Hype Mountain with Namefaker, just 4 chests available. And sometimes it can be just gems or strange bottles, but in most cases you'll usually get something that will help advance, because right now we're seeing that, well, we're getting some items at this point in the game, so not bad, but you know, there's obviously, we still got 4 stones to get, 2 more red hot items, and Soul Blade and Phoenix, so we're still a ways away.
And we got the green leaf and the flank pillar. A flank pillar can be useful in Lay-Null and Lune without the bats, but let's see. I think that Namefaker will stay with the light arrow since he seems pretty confident in his skills. So this is less anyway, so less waste of time. And
yeah, so we also...
Yeah, and now he opened the way for to Rockbird.
Yeah, and Rockbird's usually a pretty good play. 3 items you can get there, a lot of releases. So it's I would expect Namefaker might be going in that direction, especially because we still haven't gotten the Zantetsu sword. And I believe that he did open up another NPC which can lead to Gnome, but none of the players so far can actually advance to the 5th world. So I imagine that we're going to be seeing him going to, not just Namefaker, but the rest of our players, probably going to Rockbird.
Yeah, especially since we don't have the Zantetsu sword, so I don't think the players will try to dip into Dr. Leo's lab yet.
And they also have the option too of with the G-Leaf and the Spirit Sword to go to the Light Shrine. So we'll see if that happens. And I actually missed this, but it looks like on the Mountain of Souls they did release the Dal Marie. So that's just one more step to being able to go to all worlds. Although I don't believe that we've released any steps yet. So even if they were to, you know, you still wouldn't be able to get to 6. So. Slowly but surely.
And now Namefaker got the 3rd stone, the silver stone. I don't talking about the tires here. So
yeah, we're picking up the stones pretty quickly. Like there's some seeds where you can go an hour and a half and like only have 1 or 2 stones.
And now Namefaker received the Intila leaf, and also he opens the way to the 5th act. So
yeah, so
he's going pretty well for him. And now what he will do? I think like you, he will go for Rockbird. No, it's actually. Oh no, yeah, he goes back to Greenwood. So
yeah, he's making a Light Shrine play. We'll see if this pays off.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of experiments that can be went at the Light Shrine, so this is not a bad choice. Of course, maybe if he had the Zantetsu sword, Maybe he could have cleared also the fire shine, but let's see where we'll go with that strats that is going into.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of seeds where Light Shrine is not required, but in this case, hopefully there is going to be an opportunity for see something happen, and this will. So this is going to be the last of the disappearing statues, because fortunately there are no teleporting statues in the Light Shrine. It's kind of one of the nice things, because those statues can only show up outside of Greenwood is in the Water Temple, so that's going to be it.
Yeah, and I'm watching Queen Anne and Jintatsu, and at the moment they are pretty close to from each other. So the light armor, Greenwood leaf, flame pillar, and emblem G. So
and it looks like Namefigure just picked up a 4th stone, so there's a possibility that we might actually be seeing, depending on how the rest of the seed goes, we could be seeing a dip into the World of Evil early. Those are always kind of fun, but still, it's too early to tell exactly what the seed's going to do. But yeah, it's sometimes, like I said, you know, it'll be a very long time before you get any stones. But it looks like in this case, that was the right move. So Namefaker did make a correct call there by going to the Light Shrine. And who knows? It could be. There's the possibility that it could be a very long time before any of the other players decide to go there, especially since there are other options.
And now Queen Anne is surrounded by all that undead moves. So.
Oh no! Yeah. If you got the light arrow, it's just good to stand away and just blast it. It's just a few. It's just. I think it's 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah, and she makes that move, so they were not invulnerable. So so she can move on now into the layers that the 2 layers that are open under the one she just did. And by the way, clearing all the purple bats on the top of the screen.
Yeah, so yeah, good save by Queen Anne there, because she was running out of health. We're gonna see what else we can find. Namefaker here up. Okay, releasing the Sleeping Cat, which is the World 5 item giver using the Dream Rod. And so there's going to be one more, because Namefaker killed the Sun Disc, that layer is going to spawn a chest.
And now the Namefaker just got the goat's food, so if he free the hungry goats, the goat will give a hint about Phoenix, Soul Blade, or Soul Armor. But usually the players don't go for those hints, so...
Yeah, it's in most cases, you'll either have all the items already, or you'll have, you know, 2 of the 3, and the goat will tell you about an item that you've already got. But every once in a while, you can get some good information from Information Goat. It's just, it's considerably rare.
Oh, and Namefaker already doing that layer. So this is an interesting move here.
Yeah. So what Namefaker is basically doing is that there is the Sun Disc layer that's in the top left-hand corner of the map. So the reason why he's leaving those other layers alone is just because if you step on a layer, it resets the enemies and makes the Sun Disc reappear. So this is just an efficiency thing. He's clearing out the layers, but he's not stepping on them yet. And he's going to be going back and basically getting that once he's cleared out all the Sun Discs and has released that layer.
Yeah, and usually what I do with the layer that I was talking about is I wait after I did the second boss and the all the suns, because when the layer actually opens, we see a poof, so we know where to go. But here,
Mhm.
name faker will not have that indication, so you have to remember where it is. And now he's against the Lionheads, uh, the worst boss in the speedruns
Yeah.
usually. But here with the Spirit Sword, they are quite easy.
And one thing she mentioned too is that in the vanilla game there's a spirit of light that will basically kind of serve as a flashlight in this layer. But when you do the when you begin to be able to develop experience with speed runnings, you can pretty much darkroom navigate, so the players just kind of automatically know where to go.
Yeah, we got some tricks like when we hit the wall, we see the soul going way ahead of us, so we know that we hit a wall. So and
Hmm.
sometimes like here the character move in the screen, so it means that we reach the end of the end of the screen. So there are hints like this that we use to navigate ourselves into that little maze. But it's quite easy to learn. It's not that hard,
Hmm.
especially when you do randos. So
Yeah, it's because I've never run this game, speed run this game vanilla, but it's playing the rando. It's something you pick up pretty easily. It's the light shrine isn't too hard to navigate once you know where you're going. But speaking of divergence, Jin Tatsu checking out Rockbird. So we know that light shrine is required. Let's also see if Rockbird is as well. But it looks like right now he's just finding gems there, which is unfortunate. But there could be a layer that will allow them to advance. So it looks like I might have missed that, but it's a possibility that we see. So Namefaker heading back to World 1. So could have done the. Oh, okay. Now he's going back. Maybe he forgot that. I don't know if he had released the mill yet, actually.
yes, the mill is released, but I think he didn't activate it. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is a very common mistake. Is that you can forget to activate the mill. So Namefaker now has a lot of options. He can do this one, and I believe he can actually do the painting as well.
yep. But actually, this is like he did Rockbird, so I don't know why it did not go there like Jintatsu.
Hmm.
So
I think that would have been a
maybe
slightly.
maybe
I think that
wait.
would have been a slightly better play, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe it waits for more statue to be freed, or so I prefer to go see if underground castle, the second part of underground castle opens something.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Queen also opted to go for Light Shrine. So, as we know there is going to be some progression there, but at the same time, we could see that in Rockbird, and pretty soon we're going to see from Namefaker if there's the possibility that that's going to be happening in the second part of World 1.
So now we know that the sleeping soldier in Magrid gives the emblem C. So let's hope that there's not a pedestal. This is not a pedestal run, because
Yeah.
we have
If you
because
guys are familiar with the Link to the Past randomizer, where you have the pedestal and the 3 pendants that can possibly give you something, that's the Rando Blazer equivalent, is picking up 8 emblems, and there is a deer and an alligator that you need to release, and that can possibly give you an item. But in most cases, it's just an herb. Okay, so nothing that really jumps out yet in this first world, but we'll see.
No, and the fairy will surely gives nothing, so nothing useful. So Rockbird was a waste of time, but at least now Jintatsu knows it. Oh, it was the Lucky Blade, so
Yeah, there we go. So Lucky Blade gives you access to the to Loon in World 4. The old man that stands in front of there basically says you can't go in. So these players should be able to get to World 4 as long as they can actually walk there. Is the important thing.
Yep, and Lucky Blade also in the game. This is the fourth sword, and the special part about that sword is it gives you better luck to get bigger gems at when you use it. So it's pretty useful when you are in Leno that and you have a lot of magic to use. And Jintatsu took a peek and realized that he doesn't have the stairs for the attic, so you have to go back. And he goes into the basement of Dr. Leo lab.
But he's not going to be able to get very far, unfortunately. Because I believe the first few layers are always going to be enemies that don't have metal, but then there's going to be a point where, in order to get to the rest of this dungeon, there are going to be some always metal enemies. So he's kind of taken a risky play by going to this area without the sword. But I have seen seeds where progression comes in these first couple layers. So it's entirely possible that this could be the right move.
And a lot of washing machine in the first layer. So now you will get rid of the worms at the top of the first part.
Yeah, so this is definitely good for his levels, and he'll be able to swing the Lucky Blade with one more. But again, I would say that the fact that he hasn't done Light Shrine yet, I don't want to say he's behind quite yet, but we actually see that Queen Anne, even though she's behind Namefaker, she is actually going as a similar path as him, and so she picked up that extra stone that unfortunately Jintatsu doesn't have quite yet.
Yeah, but now, with the few shrines that Jintatsu will do in the Doctor's Leo lab, level up will be higher. Will go up faster at the moment, so it can gives a little advantage. And now, okay, the Namefaker stream has froze, so and it's back to normal.
Oh. Yep.
So now Queen Anne is at Leonheads.
And so it looks like Namefaker's just going to be doing some item hunting, see if you can possibly find like the mushroom shoes or something to push him forward a little bit.
Oh, and if you find his fifth stone, the brown stone.
Wow, yeah.
His emblem A spot, so
yeah, there we go. So I mean the more stones you pick up earlier on, the better chance you actually have of possibly going to the world of evil to maybe get some of the other ones. But now it looks like I'm actually a little bit surprised because I don't believe that Namefaker has actually done Rockbird yet. It's probably good because as we found out with Jintatsu, there's nothing actually there. But we'll see what he decides to do next. Because Jintatsu doing kind of a slightly unorthodox play here, but
now Namefaker will see the sleepy cat. So let's watch the second longest cutscene of the rendo.
Yeah, fortunately, Lahal, when he designed this, was kind enough to shorten some of these cutscenes for the purposes of randomizers. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Picking up the Soul Blade name faker.
Oh. So now he so now he needs only one stone, two objects and two red hot objects and a phoenix to go on. So and name faker too will take a dip into the basement of the Doctor's Leo's lab. So.
Yeah, so he can use pokes. He can use poke strats down here. It's not going to be as efficient as swinging the Zantetsu sword, but he should be able to get the work done at the very least, and should be able to get through this. The only thing that makes poke strats difficult in here is because of the robotic mice, because you have to essentially be able to kill them before they can go through you. But thankfully, the Soul Blade is strong enough that it can usually get the job done. And actually, Queen Anne discovering that last stone is held by the emblem. So we do have a pedestal seed. I have not seen one of these in a while. So they're going to have to collect, every player is going to have to collect all 8 emblems. And I think right now, Queen Anne is the only one that knows that information.
So now Jintetsu get the green stone at the ferry near Light Shrine. So now Jintetsu will be able to clear the shrine. So we try to use the speedrun strat here, but unfortunately, but he only got one set of souls. So and and everyone else is our teleporting lizard. So.
Yeah, so Siru, Soul Blade can kill everything basically. It can even kill the spikes in the water shrine, which gives 3,000 EXP each. So yeah, with the Soul Blade you can kill everything. It's just that you can't swing it until you're at level 24. So that can sort of make handling it a little bit more difficult, especially with those robotic mice. But you know, it looks like Name Faker's doing fine getting through this area. It's just that, as you can see, it's just you got to be a little bit careful when dealing with those mice. But
and then Faker start speedrunning the game, so he knows how the strats with the poking, especially since in the speedrun we are pretty much low level throughout the game. So so it should be not a tough part so much for him. But we'd never know when we're gonna meet mice into Doctor's Leo lab, so...
Yeah, it's not so much having to worry at all about dying at this point, just being able to catch those mice. It looks like one got away. That's unfortunate. But he can always reset the layer.
Yeah, and this is actually what it will do.
Yeah, so smart move. Just basically resetting the layer, and he should be able to take out the mice that way.
Yeah, it's easy to lose stamina just with the mice. So keeping a few layers open to reset those are a great idea.
Solar Cell, thank you for the raid, sir.
And by the way, I got to talk about the raffles that will be held into that tournament. During that tournament, at the final, piece of artwork will be win by a viewer. So if you don't want to miss that final. So I don't know if you can have it into the stream. The hard work is done by a Swiss artist. It is inspired by Soul Blazer. So
yeah, absolutely. We post that link shortly. We've got some very talented people that work with that work with our with this tournament, and it wouldn't be the Percent tournament if we didn't have goodies too. So yeah, a lot of great people involved in this tournament, just from all kind of different walks of life.
Oh, one got away.
Oh yeah, that's that's the drawback of using the Soul Blade, is that it's just so easy for so easy to get away.
Yeah. This is why we want to use to be able to swing the Sentetsu sword when we are into Leo's lab. But Name Faker went for it, and let's see if it will pay up.
Yeah, fortunately, usually the first area of Leo's lab almost always has something that's required. I've probably only played a few seeds where there was nothing in the first area of Leo's lab, but actually what Name Faker did release was not something that's required, but it was the information goat, and he's got the goat's food. So if he decides to go back to World 1, which he may or may not anytime soon, he might be able to give that goat the food, and if he's lucky, the goat will tell him where the Phoenix is. But there's only a 1 in 3 chance that'll happen.
Oh, Queen Anne here is in trouble. A lot of enemies in that spot, and now she only had the 1 HP left.
Yeah. Oof, that's rough.
I don't know if she close to a level up, but one would be appreciated here.
Yeah, I think she's still about 2,000 EXP away, so. Thanks for posting that, Mira. I appreciate it. Yeah, those are the links for our randomizer. So all you need is the ROM, and it'll generate a happy little randomized seed for you, as well as a spoiler log. And we also have we've had our Discord up for about a year, where we do not just this tournament, but other things related to the Randomizer. And recently we've added some custom sprites for when you play in Seed. So it's really exciting stuff.
And Queen Anne make it alive, so now she will be able to use the lair to add some more HP, but she's not quite out of the woods yet. With all the birds that are happened. So in this case, birds are really jerks.
Yeah, the jerkiest birds, because she's kind of sitting on the edge right now. But thankfully, she does have the soul armor, which is going to help.
Yeah, and now that one don't quit. Oh, 4 HP left. And she made it, and she got the lucky blade. So now Lune will be accessible.
Oh, there you go. Just Name Faker picking up an herb in there.
So now Jintatsu seems to do every the spot check that he can do in and now he knows that the blue stones are in the pedestal. So.
So what this basically means is that the runners have just some extra items to pick up. Thankfully, Name Faker does have 6 of the 8 emblems, so he's just gonna need a few more. But thankfully, emblems don't usually. In a lot of cases, emblems are pretty visible. They kind of show up fairly easy on. But yeah. So this is a pedestal seed, and this was after me explaining that 99% of the time you never get one, but this is the one time where it does happen. So.
Okay, and now Name Faker is pretty much over with the first part of Leo's lab. So.
Yeah, so it's. I don't believe, right now I think he's still looking for stairs to be able to get to World 6. But I think he might be able to actually go to Lune at the next point. because he doesn't have the Lucky Blade yet, but he can actually pick that up when he goes to Rockbird. So he's probably gonna go to Rockbird next. It looks like Queen Anne is in the first world. Queen Anne's kind of hot on the heels of Namefaker minus Rockbird. So the other two players have gone to Rockbird. Namefaker has not, but he should be able to catch up pretty quickly once he goes there.
Yeah, and Namefaker took the time to kill the mice at the top of the screen, even though they were not runaway mice. So maybe not the most optimized move he did, but he's done now, so he can move on. And what will be his next destination?
Well, his next destination probably is going to be Rockbird, where he's hopefully going to find the. Oh yeah.
Well,
Never mind.
He opened War
Never mind.
He opened War 6, so now he will go to the torture chamber. I gonna just do his checks. The queen gives a medical herb, of course. And,
yeah, because we don't actually know if Loon is required. So this actually could be the right move. Going to World 6.
And now Namefaker found the delicious seed at the maid.
And the maid's still asking the same question, just like in the last seed. The maid was constantly asking about the shield bracelet, so just a little bit of a bug there. But Torture Chamber is probably one of the best places in the game, just because there are a lot of treasure chests, a decent amount of layers. So Namefaker so far, there's not a place that I think the other runners have gone that he hasn't gone yet that we know is required, because we don't know. We do know that the Lucky Blade is in Rockbird, but we don't know if anything in Loon is actually required yet. But odds are probably we'll have to go to Loon at some point, just because now we got the 2 extra items that he has to pick up in the emblem. So we'll see.
Yeah, but now that he is in Madrid, he will be the Namefaker will be able to pick up some level ups to be even more ahead in terms of levels. So
yeah, so fortunately World 6, if you have access to it, it's a great place to go, just because you'll level up pretty quickly. And then once Namefaker gets to level 19, he will be able to swing the Spirit Sword. He may opt not to do that because he has the Soul Blade, and that's a lot more powerful, and he's fairly good with, fairly proficient with poke strats, so we'll see if he actually does it.
Now Jintatsu, I found the stairs to the attics, So I think that is the destination after completing Underground Castle 2 will be Magritte Castle as well.
Yeah, very likely. I don't believe he's done. I don't think he's done. Well, he did part of Leo's basement, but he hasn't. I don't believe he's completed it yet. But yeah, because it doesn't look like he's picked up the Soul Blade. That's being held by the cat. So we'll see if he checks that.
So double magical herb here in the top of the screen of the first floor of the torture chamber.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing so far. The first floor of the torture chamber has been 30 gems and 2 herbs. Usually you'll see something better in the first part of Magritte Castle, but we'll see what happens when Namefaker goes down.
And then Namefakers didn't take the time to change his sword here. So
yeah, it'd be more efficient to switch back to the Soul Blade, but because the ghost can only be killed with either the Soul Blade or the Spirit Sword. But he's getting pretty close to 8,300, which is what he needs to be able to swing the Spirit Sword, which makes fighting ghosts just a lot easier.
yeah, especially when you move when you try to kill them. So
Yeah, because the ghosts they'll kind of randomly vanish, and they'll kind of mostly stay in the same spot, but you have to get near them in order for them to do that. So that's kind of why you're seeing Name Faker just kind of darting around like that. Because you know, it's not like they teleport and go across the screen. They're pretty much in the same spot, but still. But yeah, a lot of these, there's a lot of ghosts in these layers, that's for sure.
yeah, a lot of them. And he only got 2 HP left. I think he still has a medical herb. So
yeah, interestingly enough, I don't think any of these players have actually picked up a bracelet yet. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen any.
no, I didn't see any bracelet also. So
Yeah, Jintatsu looks like he's probably going to be opting for, yeah, as I thought, he's going to be trying to go to World 6 as well. Oh, but he is going to be getting the Soul Blade very soon, so we'll see if he decides to go to World 6 or goes to continue with Leo's Basement.
yeah, and now Jintatsu also had the Soul Blade and Queen Anne too. They
Yeah,
are at the same spot. So
yeah, all players equipped with the Soul Blade.
and the red hot stick is found into the hidden chest.
And so invisible chest down here does have the red hot stick, and now Name Faker can swing the spirit sword if he chooses. So,
Yeah,
but you know, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to swing the spirit sword if he doesn't want to.
So now all the layers are done, so you will activate them, and Jintatsu is back.
He's decided to finish this world. So, yeah, I mean, it did have it is required, so he will have to do it. And now it looks like Name Faker releasing Billy the Squirrel, who, you know, about 50% of the time will have something important.
And also, you will have the sleeping mushroom so he will be able to clear all the loon. So all loon. So this is a good Doctor's Leo's lab. Unfortunately, a lot of mice. So
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I mean, by the game logic, we actually do have to the Zantetsu sword is out there somewhere, very likely. But you know, it's kind of it's not really it's not really an item that they actually need at this point. So. And so the game is completely possible without the Zantetsu sword because everybody's got the Soul Blade now. So, ironically, it looks like Queen decided not to do Leo's Basement and is going straight for the Torture Chamber. But as we've already seen, that's required too. So, it looks like a lot of the places that these players have been to have been required in some way. The jury is still out on whether or not Loon is going to be required, but in order to get to Loon, Name Faker is going to have to go to Rockbird at some point.
and now Name Faker received that pass.
So finishing up with the one more layer here.
Name Faker is now level 20. As I said, a lot of levels could be picked up in the World 6. So only 4 more to go to be able to swing the Soul Blade.
Yeah, it's 420,000 is the EXP you need to swing the Soul Blade in level 24. So, still a ways to go, but a lot of the enemies in World 6 can give a lot of EXP. So.
And now the magic balls are easily killed with the light arrow thing. Oh.
Yeah, that's those magic balls kind of move in almost like a chess knight type pattern. But if you have the light arrow, they're much easier to kill. And as you can see, Name Faker is making short work of those ghosts now because he can swing the Spirit Sword. It just makes it so much easier. And those spikes that he's getting hurt on, the only way to be immune to that is the Elemental Mail, and who knows where that is. It's not a required item, so we may never see it.
Name Faker took at that here. He didn't. I think he didn't did all the lair into the basement of Magritte. So I wonder what is his move.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he cleared all those out. So if this could be a risk if he didn't manage to do it. But we'll see. He might have actually gotten all those, and now he's doing some. Oh, look at that. Picked up the second to last emblem, so he just needs one more, and he can actually go to. Well, he can't go to the World of Evil quite yet because he still has to release King Magritte, but he's very, very close. Yeah, that's true, Stormy. Why Elemental Mail when you can Death Warp? It's way more efficient, but it's just fun to be able to walk on spikes every once in a while. Yeah, so Name Faker is trying to basically see if there's any spare item spots that he hasn't checked yet to see if he can get that last emblem. But now it looks like he's going to be diving right into Leo's painting.
Yeah, but with the Soul Blade, he will be able to kill the metal enemies. So at least he will be able to clear all that up. Let's see if we would get the Sensetsu sword to kill those enemies faster, though.
Yeah, T-Dark Phoenix. I don't know which one. Yeah, basically Name Faker and Queen both need one more emblem. I'm not sure if there's been an overlap yet. Like if Name Faker has one that Queen doesn't have and vice versa, or if they're still looking for that last one. But yeah, this is one of those rare seeds where all the emblems are required because, like I said, most of the time it's just you turn them in for a medical herb. But right now, Jintatsu and Queen have all been to. They're in areas that Name Faker already has been, so he's the only one right now really kind of exploring new territory. But this is a good move because this is, especially at this level, they tend to. This dungeon tends to be over with pretty quickly, and especially with that light arrow, it just makes the enemies melt. And now we see that Name Faker has released the first model town, so there is the possibility that this could be a rabbit hole. We'll see.
At the moment, we know that model town has Dr. Leo, so Dr. Leo. Let's hope not is mandatory. Because to get an item and to be able to do the last boss, we have to sit through the longest cutscene of the game. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's Dr. Leo and 2 soldiers. If you release those, you can yield an item, and if you release the Queen as well, there's a possibility of her standing on an item. So once she's essentially taken out, when she suicides herself, you can possibly get something else. But But keep in mind too that we're still looking for some releases because King Magrid needs to be released, and we're still looking for one of the grandmas. So just like the previous seed, the grandma hunt is on.
Yeah, and we only need one emblem because we know that that emblem will give the stone, and
Exactly. So it's always about the grandma hunt. Oh, but look at that! Release King Magrid.
So Leo's painting was mandatory too. So a lot of plays that the players had to do today.
Yeah, it looks like the only place that might not be required is possibly Loon. So we know that Jintatsu and Queen have access to there. We'll see. It looks like Namefaker's got definitely quite a lead right now, but he still might have to go to Rockbird. But you know, for the time being, he just has to pick up that last emblem, and then he can get the last stone, which means that we might be seeing a World of Evil play.
Yeah, and now Jintatsu is also in Magrid, so he will be able to catch up his levels since Queen with the dip into Magrid Castle took the lead in that area, but
yeah, actually, I don't know Dark Phoenix if that's the case. I know he was doing some item sweeping earlier, but yeah, he may not have that information yet.
So Namefaker just did Solid Arm. I didn't see it. It was so fast. And we got the second grandma for Namefaker, but the path is not open though.
Oh wow, this could be yeah, it's the grandmas are released, the king's released, but there's still more NPCs that we have to get. And now, of course, we see that the second Leo's Basement is released.
Actually, I'm surprised that nobody did the fairy in the second floor of the torture chamber that could give us an information about a sword. And since we didn't have the Sensetsu sword, but actually maybe Queen Anne could use that information. But Jintatsu and Namefaker already did the biggest part of the basement of Dr. Leo's lab, so I don't think they need that information.
Solar, that fairy was not given useful information. Surprise, surprise. It usually doesn't.
Yeah, usually there's always information about a sword that you already have, so...
Yeah, exactly. I typically skip it. But so yeah, basically there's only a few hints in this game. One of them is the goat that can tell you where one of the required equipable items is. We also see that the soldiers in yeah, basically the Leo soldiers will tell you where he is. But mostly in this game, you kind of just have to go through trial and error and figure this out yourself. So the area that Namefaker's in right now is the second Leo's Basement, and it's pretty quick to get through, but there's only 2 items here and a couple, like I think 2 layers. So you know, this can be kind of a risky play because it can be kind of a risky play just because of the fact that you know, it could be time wasted if you don't find anything down here, which has happened a lot. But there have been several seeds I've played where there has been a required item or a required release. So, but it looked like the Leo's painting did have a lot of value there, and it's still anybody's guess if Rockbird or Loon has anything. But
I was wondering what Jintatsu is doing, but he's using the glitch to be able to swing the soul blade. So
Yeah, the basically changing swords in mid swing. It's something that I didn't know until Stormy pointed that out in the last broadcast. So thank you, Stormy. I had no idea.
yeah, this is something that we learned in the speedrun tutorials, but it's not that useful, especially with all the menuing. So
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
so now Queen Anne has the goat pen.
Yeah, which still could be useful, by the way, because we do have the players do have the food, and they're still looking for the Phoenix. So we'll see if that could possibly have anything. But so far, it doesn't look like Leo's Basement 2 is paying off. But you know, it's at least one area that you can get out of the way.
So now Queen Anne enter first world, so she will see. She will get the last emblem.
That's right, yeah.
So
And as soon as she goes to the painting and releases King Magrid, she might decide to dip into World of Evil. We'll see.
so at the moment she do all those check. So we got the 2 spots in the with the pass, the goat pen. I don't know if the IV to go to the southeast is open yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think the Go Pen might be in or the information code actually might have been in Rockbird. I can't remember. But Namefaker going for the first model town, picking up the door to help with vision. Yeah, actually, it looks like Queen could be the first one that goes to World of Evil, which is always an exciting play. Not something that you get to see in every seed either.
Yeah, the World of Evil is the place where we could get a lot of experience really quickly. So this is never really a bad move to go to the World of Evil, especially when you have the Soul Blade. So you will be able to open the lair that leads you to directly to the temple. But I think
Yeah, and
that
there's
I think that neither of our players actually had the can go see the king, even though
there's still
Namefaker, even though Namefaker has the dancing grandmas.
yeah, so we're still you can't get to the king yet, so there's still more layers to be released, and World of Evil doesn't have any NPCs, so it's a great place to look for items, but if you're looking for NPCs, unfortunately, you have to look elsewhere. But it looks like Namefaker did release Ghost Ship. Unfortunately, we have not released the Sleeping Dolphin or have gotten the Black Pearl, but Ghost Ship, in a lot of cases, can be one of these places that has something required, even though it's also very, very short. So, who knows? World 3 actually may... I mean, it's looking like right now that World 3, or at least the rest of World 3 aside from Siddhartha, we don't know if any of that's required yet. So we'll have to see if as the world goes on, or as the seed goes on. Oh, and Namefaker releasing Right Tower, which is my favorite place. However, he doesn't have the Veep card yet, so he's still not going to be able to go there.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix. It's kind of a mystery right now, and whether or not Loon is going to have any sort of requirements. But if that's the case, it's it's possible that Namefaker may not go there for a while. So we'll have to see, because he still hasn't done Rockbird yet, and there's enough options starting to open up where other things are starting to look a little bit more attractive. On the other hand, now that he has 2 statues that he can go to in the third world, it's a possibility.
Now Queen Anne clearing all the enemies at the second room of the Leo's painting.
Yeah, so I'll be really interested to see if she decides to go for the World of Evil. That'd be my guess, but you never know. And Name Figure releasing the mouse that leads to 2 more items, and he does have the catnip, the A-leaf, so to speak. It's catnip, guys. It's just catnip. So, interestingly enough,
oh, Namefaker just found the Phoenix here, so
yeah,
only one objects, and he will be in go mode. No, he still has to find an emblem though. I forgot about it.
Still needs to find an emblem, and he still needs to make sure he can get to the king. So.
Magic armor not quite useful in the rando, especially at that point.
Yeah, so most of these areas have had at least one thing that is required, which tends to make for slightly longer seeds.
Yeah, it's not like the first one that we had today that the all World 6 was not necessary. So.
Oh yeah, that was painful to watch. And we got Dr. Leo.
And I no, he had one. Does he have a soldier with him? Because we had to endure the long speech of Dr. Leo, but thanks to Rando, the text is way more shorter.
So, unfortunately, I just was realizing this, is that I don't think because Queenie has not gone to World 5 yet, or First Leo's basement, she did not release the soldier that is in front of the castle. So, unfortunately, she can't go to the World of Evil quite yet. So she's probably gonna think about doing Leo's basement, and so it might still be a little while before that happens.
Yeah, and I think she did everything to find the Sensetsu sword before going into Dr. Leo's lab, but unfortunately, I think she has to do it. Especially that she didn't find the ghost ship yet, so but I think she had some Thunder Ring, not useful here. So she do all the checks that she can do in Greenwood. So let's see if she will find something useful. I think not, but I think Jintetsu did it, but I forget what he got there.
So Namefaker also picking up the first bracelet that we've seen. Just picked up the shield bracelet. So no super bracelet yet, unfortunately.
Now Queen Anne just need to find the soldier that opens the castle in King Magritte. And
yeah, which if I remember, I think is in Leo's basement. So.
Oh, and Queen Anne just found the Sentetsu sword, so I think she will dive into.
Yeah, so she's probably gonna go there next.
No, she will go to talk to Tiki. I think the name of that bird. So she will open that path to the grave of Turbo.
And Name Faker going into Lag Tower. So he does still need some the releases of I think he needs a boy and a grandpa actually to be able to get to the king. So left tower can also be kind of a gambling move just because there are a lot of layers here, and it's a good place to go if you're looking for an NPC. But also given the massive slowdown that takes place, it could be a waste of time. But we'll see.
Yeah, but at least he is able to use the magic, because sometimes when the game lags that much, the sprite of the light arrows didn't show up. So.
So now, interestingly enough, and I don't think we've actually seen this from any other players, that Queen is now getting rid of the scorpions in the Fire Temple. So I don't know if any of the other players have actually done that.
Yeah.
So this could actually put her in a good position if this ends up being a required item.
So first we're gonna see what the fairy gives. The ice armor can be useful in that temple and on Dr. Leo's lab, but with those with level 20, I don't think she needs it that much.
And Jintatsu also released the second model town, so it's possible that that's another rabbit hole. We'll see.
So now the rope for everyone pretty much is different for every one of them. So now we'll know all the information and not them. So this is great for us.
Yeah, it's from an observing point of view, it's we kind of know where. I mean, they've explored most of these worlds. We still haven't seen Loon. We still haven't seen Laynol or some of the other places underwater. But yeah, they're all going on different paths. So, I mean, it still looks like obviously that Name Faker I think is in the lead, but you know, there's enough divergence where it's hard to tell. So that's really interesting. Name Faker just released the. Oh, thank you guys. thanks, chat. Yeah. So Name Faker just released a vine which leads to 3 items. So it's one of these places that can be very valuable. And now we also see that Name Faker has released the Sleeping Dolphin. So if he picks up the Big Pearl and is able to go into the Dolphin's Dream, he will be able to access Hype Cave, which usually doesn't have anything, but this seed's been pretty unusual, so we'll see.
So now Queenan will be all done with the last floor of Fire Shrine. So let's see what will be open with that layer. It's a dancing mermaid, so
it's a mermaid, so unfortunately not anything super helpful. And a Name Faker releasing what I like to call the Harbinger Hut, which is a it's not in any way useful NPC, but that typically means, in my experience, that when you release the little kid in the hut, that the end of the seed is almost there. But I've been trolled by that hut before, so it doesn't actually tell you anything. But now we're gonna see Name Faker going into my favorite place, which is the right tower. And he did pick up the Veep card. I just don't. I might have missed exactly when he picked that up. And,
that's opened the way to the king.
Yeah. So right tower required, because right tower usually always has something good. So all I was really looking for is the extra stone, which I think he's already released the NPC for that. And just the red hot ball, and then he'll be all set.
So now Jintetsu also has the 6 stones, so and he has King Magrin, so now the world is open for him. So he will be able to dive into World of Evil to find if Phoenix is there. Or the Red Hot Ball.
Oh, we know the Phoenix isn't there, but Red Hot Ball could be. We'll see.
So now Jintetsu will see the ice armor spots, see if there is something useful there. And Nymphaker actually opened Blaster.
Which, you know, might want to consider going to, but there are a lot of better choices right now.
So Jintetsu receive a Thunder Ring that he might be useful, but I know I think he got the Sensetsu sword with the Woodstein. So
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's it's not useful, but there have been seeds I've played where the Thunder Ring is required, and of course it is required in the vanilla game, but in most randomizer seeds, you don't need it because you usually get something that cuts through metal earlier on. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these areas have had one item that is required at the very least, so the players will have to probably trek around. But again, we still don't know if really any of the rest of World 3 is required. We'll have to see if Namefaker can grab the last, essentially just grab the last, the Red Hot Ball. And if he does in the tower, that means most of World 3 is not necessary. So Jintatsu doing left tower, and I don't know if this is actually required because it does release one of the model towns. And of course, Jintatsu is suffering the. He decides to back out of the tower. Interestingly enough, I think just to reset the lag. Smart move, because those knights were slowing down. We're slowing it down to 30%. So we got the. So we did get the power bracelet, which is not as good as the. Not as good as the super bracelet, but it does help a little bit.
Queen Anne didn't open the bridge, but she is able to kill the. I don't think she was able to kill the catapults with all the sprites that are with all the sprites that are on the screen.
Yeah, it's one of the points in the game because so many enemies respawn at once that it actually makes it unable for you to cast certain spells.
So the plants in the model town room gives nothing useful.
Yeah, so next move by Namefaker is to do. This will complete World 5 for him. So he's basically employing a strategy where he's kind of leaving World 3 to the very end, which is not a bad play because World 3 can be sort of painstaking because you have to release all those statues at once. So he's gambling on hopefully finding something in the second model town.
Yep, and Queen Anne with all that, with all those things.
Yeah, it's yeah, lag is the real enemy in the seed. It's just there's it's happened quite a few times.
Oh, and we know where is Phoenix.
Yep. So
Actually,
Phoenix, yeah,
actually, Name Faker already had Phoenix. I missed it, so
yeah, he picked that up when he went to the first model town earlier on. So yeah, he's in good shape as far as items go. Which means that there's still a possibility that the red hot ball could be in World of Evil. We'll have to see. So basically, the only item that we don't know the location of is the red hot ball. Everything else has been found at some point or another. Name Faker still has to check the tool shop owner lady to get the last emblem, but I don't even know if he actually is aware of the fact that it's a pedestal steed. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't think so neither. So so let's see where is where we'll go next.
Yeah, so he probably will have to do like a item check at some point because there's just a lot of areas that he's been trying to clear out layers. So there's just a lot of item checks he hasn't done that the other two players have. So we'll see. We shall see.
So Queen Anne's still using the Soul Blade, even though I think the Spirit Sword will be faster here.
So pick up the magic bell. Which is it's a fun item to have, and actually Name Faker has only about 200 gems, so that's good for him to use. He's been using his light arrow quite a lot. So that's why he's got slightly less gems than the other two players, but Magic Bell fixes that problem.
And now Queen Anne has access to the right tower.
Okay, so that's where the Veep card was. It's yeah, World 1, and we're gonna see Jintatsu doing the World of Evil play. So we'll see if he can find the red hot ball here. There's I think 5 or 6 treasure chests that he can possibly get.
Yeah, and I think he didn't speak to the king yet, so the World of Evil is not. So he will not be. So I think he take the bet that the red hot ball is not actually there. He will just clear the World of Evil to get the level and access to Death Toll Palace.
I think the ball could still be here, but he doesn't have a path to the king because he doesn't have the Veep card yet. He still would need to go through.
Oh yes,
Like he would still have to go through the first model town, I think. So he still has to do stuff that the two players have already done. But he might luck out if he finds the red hot ball here.
And he found the red hot ball, so now I think he will go back. Yeah. I think he will go back to no, he actually committed to finish the World of Evil. This is not a bad decision. He will be able to swing the Soul Blade throughout the rest of the game, so he will be able to
it's a
do
good move.
Way much damage. It just said that we didn't find the power bracelet or the super bracelet.
So that basically means that essentially World 3, I don't think is required. I mean, there might be something in Bluster that you have to get, but that means that Rockbird isn't required because that leads to getting the Lucky Blade, and there's no reason to go to Loon. So it'll be interesting to see who kind of figures this all out first, especially because it looks like Name Faker might be going down somewhat of a rabbit hole. We'll see.
And I don't know. I don't understand why, but Jintatsu actually opened the the lair that usually we use to go get the first red dot object in the vanilla game. But
Well, you know what? It's probably because he doesn't have the Veep card yet, so he's still
yeah,
trying to see if he can find that. Yeah.
yeah, that's really. He doesn't know that Mother Town 1 is has the VIP card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here he will get his level 24 pretty quickly. So
Yeah. So this is all good for Gintatsu. It's just unfortunate because there's still some places that he has to go to.
yeah, you're right,
complete.
Solar. Yeah, you're right, Solar. Phoenix is also into Model Town 1, so
Yeah, so Model Town 1 has Veep card and Phoenix, and in in the right tower there's the final layer to get to the king. So this will be interesting too because it looks like Name Faker might be going down somewhat of a black hole or somewhat of a rabbit hole if he continues in World 3 because nothing in World 3 I think is necessary except maybe Bluster. I'm gonna have to. There might actually be something that he needs there, but I don't think so.
yeah, I think the mushroom shoes were in World 3, so and we didn't have to do a lane hole as it seems.
Yeah.
So
there's a possibility that we could see somebody go to lane hole, and that's even a worse rabbit hole.
So now the World of Evil is done by Jintetsu. Now what will be his next move before getting another mythical herb?
Yeah. So this is a really interesting seed because it's just really a matter of because all Name Faker basically has to do is go. He just basically has to go to the first world to get I think it's either the soldier or the first world to get the last emblem, whatever emblem he doesn't have.
Yeah, Name Faker is chasing after the red out ball. Oh, and Jintetsu has the red out ball. I don't see where he got it.
Oh, he got that in the World of Evil. That was the first chest there.
Yeah, that's right. But he didn't have the access to the king yet. So
yeah, so he still needs to go to first model town. He did pick up the super bracelet in the first world though, so that's good for him. But yeah, I don't think that there's, unlike the last seed, there's nothing useful in Bluster. There's really nothing useful in any of World 3 actually. But fortunately,
and Quinnan finally get the power bracelet. It's not actually what we want for that though, but here it would help a lot. And she didn't use the crab walk here to open the chest, so she struggled quite a bit here.
Yeah, so I think that the yeah, she was kind of dancing around the chest for a little bit, but I think she has World of Evil access now, and now she has a path to the king. So I think well, she does still have to release Kim Magritte, and Magritte I think is in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh no, and Gintatsu going to Loon.
Yeah. So he got the recovery sword a bit late, but he got it.
So we're looking at a situation where I think all of our players are going into rabbit holes and wrong directions in some respects. It's just really a matter of when Name Faker's just got to find that last emblem, and then he's in go mode.
Yeah, he will not know it that he is in go mode, but he will be in go mode when he
he won't know. But all he's got to do is, well, he's got to get the last emblem, get the last stone, and then go to the World of Evil to get the red hot ball, and then he's in go mode. So
yeah,
so he has to do quite a few things.
Yeah, it's the sad part is we will not be able to see his face when he will realize that it is actually a pedestal run. So
well, yeah, I think he's already. I think he might actually already have that information. It's just that he hasn't done, like, he's still releasing layers. He hasn't done a lot of item checks in a while. So. Yeah, he might not know because he's still going around and getting layers. I mean, there's he's got all the layers that he needs. All the NPCs that he needs. If I'm not wrong. Oh, and Queen's fighting the bird. Because why not?
And she didn't have the trick to get the bird easily, so
yeah, it's she's gonna have to fight it.
at least she has the soul blade with the power bracelet, so even
Yeah,
though
it's slightly easier.
she don't knows the strat, she will be able to do a lot of damage when the bird will not dive. Oh, and she actually did it. And
Yeah, there
now
we go.
let's see what layers is open. I used less bird, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's really hard to tell who's ahead because, like I said, all the players are going in variations of the wrong direction.
And I said maybe we have a winner, but no. Name Faker will get the lucky blade.
Yep, he's
Rockbird.
Yeah. Name Faker could be going down the wrong path for quite some time.
So I wonder if Queen Anne take all the good gamble, if she will be able to surprise everyone here, because it's still
It's possible, yeah, because she's going in the right direction now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right, Phoenix. I think that basically if Queen Anne goes to the basement and finds King Magrid, she'll be ready to go.
And Queen Anne didn't know the trick to know if the soldier has nothing or something. So
yeah. So if you talk to the soldier first, and there's something there, it'll say that there's a item under his feet. Otherwise, it's nothing.
Jintetsu gets a medical herb at the fairy loon. I got a tendency. I got a tendency to say lune instead of moon because lune is actually moon in French. So.
Oh yeah. I think either one works.
Yeah, probably.
So it looks like, okay, so Queen Anne still, I think, needs to go to the Leo's painting, and that's where King Magrid is. But she can't go to Loon right now, so she's, I think that she's, there's a couple places that she hasn't gone, but I think that she's going to be forced to go to Leo's painting.
Yeah, where she's... And she doesn't have the path to the king. This is what she was checking.
So she's still got a few NPCs to release. So she has done the basement, and I think that there's a couple more. And I think a lot of those NPCs are actually in the first one. I don't know for sure. Yeah, this is one of those seeds where it's just
Yeah, we know that Queen only has to do Leo's painting and the right tower, and I think Model Town 1 she didn't dive into it.
Yeah, she's done Model Town 1, she's done Right Tower, but
okay.
Now she might be, yeah, it's as Solar was saying, she's about to go down the wrong path as well. She's going to be doing World 3. It's like everybody is still in the wrong place, basically.
Yeah, and this is what is great about that Rando. Who will do the right thing to open the path?
Yeah, because I mean, all Name Faker has to do is just do some item checks and and then he's good to go. But
Yeah, but he doesn't know it yet, and and now he will receive the lucky blade.
yeah, but it's gonna make him think I should go to Loon.
And Gentetsu is going for Poseidon.
Yeah, so this will once again result in nothing helpful. But at least he's got the super bracelet. I think he's the only one that's got it.
He's already Poseidon is already a joke in the vanilla game, but with the power bracelet, with the super bracelet and the
oh no! And this leads to Durian. And I know from racing with Jintatsu before, he likes to go to Durian because he's said that it's kind of screwed him over in a lot of cases. So he might end up going there. Yeah, I agree, Mira. This is kind of hard to watch.
So, to recap what everybody has to do, Name Faker has to do some item checks. Queen Anne B still has to do Leo's painting. This is the same for Jintatsu. So I wonder if they forget actually to go do Leo's painting that late in the game. This is not unusual to forget to do to return into the first to the first level.
Actually, I think it's. Actually, I think that Jintatsu has done Leo's painting. He still needs to do Model Town 1 to get the Phoenix and the Veep card to go to Right Tower. Yeah, so they all have different things they got to do basically.
And now Queen Anne just did the ghost ship,
which had an herb. Yeah, we'll let you know when somebody's going the right way because nobody is at the moment.
Yeah, and by the way, I think this is the great time to remember everybody that tomorrow is the grand finale of the tournament. For the occasion, we will have a raffle to win an art done by a Swiss artist. So I don't know if we'll be able to show it up on the stream. So
yeah, there should be a link there. Yeah, if we don't get that until after the race, we'll make sure to post that for everybody.
So you don't want to miss it. I know that Lurk is actually qualified for the finale. Low score. So in the spin runs, we had number 1 and number 2. Two great players of Soul Blazer, and the other one is I don't remember who is it. Is it?
Oh, Lost Core. We got Lost Core. We got the Hulk, and they're playing. We got Kugelschnaps, who's going to be playing in there too. So, and whoever wins this one, which is like I said, it's because now Jintatsu is going to Durian, which is also, as we know, got nothing. So. Okay, so yeah, yeah, Queen Anne is finally going in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot she didn't did the basement of Dr. Leo lab, so and now that she is into Doctor's lab, what? Oh, and now she realized that she got runaway mice. So, this is where we will see how she will deal with. She can't go. Yeah, this is a good idea to use that layer even though we know that nothing good is coming out from of it.
Yeah, so the layer has Bob the Builder, the castle soldier. I don't know if I'm just trying to remember if she's actually done Leo's painting it. I think she did, but 'cause Magritte I know is in Leo's painting, so she still might have a little bit to go, but she is going in the right direction.
If I read the tracker correctly, oh, and she didn't went away the runaway mice. Oh,
Oh no!
it
Yeah.
was great because it come back pretty quickly. The mice that got run away. Now
Yeah, this could
maybe
end up being
they're
a close race because yeah, Queen Anne still has definitely. I think she might have 2 levels to do, but right now, like I said, she's the only one going in the right direction. We might actually see we may actually see Name Faker and Jintatsu complete all of World 3, which will give them absolutely nothing.
yeah, and everybody knows that 2 levels in the World of Evil is quite easy to get. So
Yeah, so she's got a good chance. And there's a good chance that Name Faker's gonna go to Durian after this because that's what Poseidon releases.
three layers, 3 mice.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it's the worst of all worlds. Yeah, Solar. I mean, I want her to win. Not solely for that reason, but that's a big plus. Is to give Netta an angry face. Yeah, because our tournament organizer put her on commentary duty, assuming that she wouldn't make it through this round, but she actually might. So that's what happens.
And Lulk is already in the final, and for my part, I will be on the English stream, so Netta will be doing the tech and the commentary all along.
Yeah, well, me and Kmart will both be here tomorrow to see how that goes. Yeah, so Gintatsu, you know, typically, you know that you're kind of going the wrong direction when you're releasing all the restaurant NPCs. That's usually an indication that you're going the wrong way. Because look, now he's getting... he's just releasing the entire restaurant now. But yeah, Queen Anne dealing with those mice, which is giving the other players definitely a chance. But again, we'll see. Yep, Name Faker now going to Durian.
Oh my! Oh my!
Yeah, just with each passing mistake, it's Queen Anne's got a better and better chance.
Yeah, Name Faker is going straight through 100%. See if it still goes into that rabbit hole.
Yep. And I don't think that we've gotten the mushroom shoes yet, but when that happens, it's
Now Jintatsu is going for the power plant on Doctor's Leo Lab.
I know, Solar. Nobody should ever joke about the nobody should ever joke about the mushroom shoes, but it's a distinct possibility.
Yeah, and maybe Jintatsu will be able to take it because after the power plant, the next logical step is the model town. So
oh, you know what? So I think that Queen Anne is using the manual tracker, so I think that now she marked off King Magritte. So she might actually head to World of Evil after this, which would actually put her very much in the lead. So we'll see.
No. Yeah.
But
Also
she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to
What-
kill that layer.
So yeah. Who will make the right decision first? This is what we want to know. And
Yep. So Name Faker, interestingly, just released the Wood Grandpa. Oh, okay. So Durian might actually be required because that's something that I might have missed. Is that that place has an extra NPC. So Durian, Durian is not a bad play. It is required. Interesting. So wow, this adds another level of complexity, I think.
and at the moment, Queen Anne seems to be lost because she doing on the non-useful layer, and she got a runaway mice from the top. So I'm surprised because they were not moving that much, and then the layer didn't pop up.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, no, this makes a little bit more sense now because
Well, she found it.
Well, I mean, in terms of Name Faker continuing to look for NPCs and layers because it turns out that he didn't have access to the king, and Durian has the last NPC that was necessary. So he's actually quite a bit ahead now. That's right, Magnus. This is the Soul Blazer randomizer, Rando Blazer. So basically, Name Faker just has to do an item check now because before he was looking for the extra layer, and now actually I think that Jintatsu did do Durian, so that helps him out a bit. So so Jintatsu still has a pretty decent chance, but he does have to do the first model town.
So now Jintatsu will do the catnip check. So he will be able to enter the mouse hole.
He'll do the mouse hole, and we'll see if he goes for we'll see if he goes for the first model town after this because he still hasn't done it.
So he got nothing. Oh. And he got the Psycho Sword and the Elemental Mail. So
yeah, not really all that helpful there. So the mouse hole he hasn't released yet, but yeah, he's all right. He's going in the right direction, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
He is going to, but we'll see what model town he decides to do first.
Model town. Model town was the next logical things to do for Jintatsu, and now he will have Phoenix at the ferry. So as soon as he's get Phoenix, he will be able to leave the model town. So
But yeah, he the thing is though, I think that he would still have to go to right tower to get access to the king because he has been to Durian, and that was the right move because that had the Wood Grandpa, and so even if he leaves, he wouldn't leave right away just because he would need to get the Veep card and go to right tower, but he still has a variety of options. I think chances are I think that he would probably go to right tower though. We'll see.
yeah, but we never know.
Yeah, you never know exactly. So at this point, Name Faker just basically has to get that last emblem, and then he's going to be able to go. We'll see if he goes to the World of Evil. So he doesn't know that the Red Hot Ball is there.
And now Name Faker is doing his checks in the first world. So
Yeah, so we might be able to find that last one.
so the little boy gives an iron armor. I think he did the emblem.
Yeah, so it's
And,
the
and
so
now
that emblem he's got, and I believe the other one is I think the soldier, I believe. So
super bracelet. So now Name Faker also has the super bracelet. So he is pretty much gear up for World of Evil, but you need to find that that emblem to get that stone.
yeah, it turns out everywhere was required, including Loon. Crazy seed. Here we go. So Gintatsu on the right path now.
And now Name Faker has the Zentetsu sword quite late.
Yeah, after 2 hours and 10 minutes, the Z sword.
And
Yeah, so really it's really just a matter of time before he gets that last emblem. But Jintatsu could be hot on his trail. It's just he needs to. All he needs to do is get the. Because I know he picked up the Phoenix. Well, he is going to pick up the Phoenix very soon. All he needs to do is to get, yeah, just that last NPC release, and then he's good to go.
so now Big Pearl was at the dead queen spot, but we know it's not useful. And now Queen Anne has opened the World of Evil.
Yeah, so she can go to the World of Evil, but the thing is that she can't. She still can't. She would have to go to Durian to get the last path to the king. So, yeah. So after she gets the yeah, you're correct. We were just a little confused earlier because we thought that the path to the king was totally open, but it is required in Durian. And in order to go to Durian, you have to beat Loon. So it's a little bit more of a rabbit hole than we originally thought.
And now Queen Anne's facing quite a lot of bad lag. Not all the arrows are showing up, so she will have to kill some enemies to not be at the sprite limit, sprite limitation. So
I think Name Faker should be getting that last emblem if it's that soldier.
yeah, you will get the last emblem. So will the Name Faker will be in go mode. We know that he has everything that he need to go to the world of evil, but
yeah, he still has to go there. He has to pick up the red hot ball, and he's going to go back and activate the dancing grandmas. So Gintatsu still has a little bit of time to close the gap, but he still has to go to right tower.
And Gintatsu goes into the model town too.
Yeah, so there we go. Almost go mode. Very close for Name Faker.
Yeah, in the search for the path to the king to open up that old palace. And now Name Faker is doing all these checks in World 4.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
yeah, because he hasn't gotten the ball yet, he may do some more NPC checks before going to the World of Evil. Oh yeah, and he got the. I don't think he's gonna fall for that, thankfully. Going to lane hole.
yeah.
Oh hey RPG chick. So Gintatsu is missing the. Actually, you know what? I think Gintatsu actually did not pick up the Veep card in the first. He actually skipped that one. That might be a problem. In the first model town because he needs to release one of the Path to the King NPCs. So that's what he needs, and Name Faker just needs the Red Hot Ball, which is in the World of Evil. So he's really close to go mode. So this could be a problem for Jintatsu missing the Veep card, which ironically was my problem last year in this tournament, as I forgot to release one of the layers that had the Snail Boy that had the Veep card. It was required. So yeah, this Name Faker could run away with this race pretty fast.
Yeah, Name Faker doesn't know it, but he is actually in go mode, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gintatsu missed a very important chest, so this could be bad.
Oh, and Name Faker took a death on
Oh no!
But
That's unfortunate.
yeah, but lucky for
he's got the
him,
magic bell, so it doesn't really matter.
But lucky for him, he was not far into the into a dark world. But I'm quite surprised that he took a death there because he had the super bracelet and the soul armor. So, oh, he didn't wear the soul armor, I think.
Yeah, it was. He's still got the bubble armor on. That's gonna eat you alive in the World of Evil. Yeah, so unfortunately for Queen, she's still got a ways to go just because she has to do Loon and then do Durian. Yeah, now Name Faker's gonna probably complete the World of Evil and then go and do the Dancing Grandmas thing and then come back. And then he should be able to finish up the seed from here.
Oh, a lot of enemy here on Name Faker screen.
Oh yeah. But it's at this point it doesn't matter. He's light years ahead.
And he's still on the light armors, which is what the armor that we use at that point in the game. But I'm surprised that he didn't take the. He didn't open the lair to that chest. Ah, okay. I just saw that he had the red ball, so he just So he just finishing the World of Evils to have the lair that leads to Death Toll.
Yeah, so Gintatsu, interestingly enough, was trying to clear out a bunch of layers, and now he's going back for the chest. So hopefully this does mean that he'll be able to pick up the Veep card because he needs that. Yeah, Kugelshops, the second seed today wasn't bad. That was actually the one that I was very briefly in was not a bad one. This one makes you go everywhere. But Kintatsu's still not getting the Veep card. This is This is not good.
Yeah, he got. I think he's got all 3 bracelets, but all he needs is that path to the kings, and so now I think Jintatsu is pretty done with World 5,
Hmm.
but
Well,
I think if
but he needs to go back and get the Veep card. Or unless he just didn't mark it on his tracker, but because I know he's using the dynamic one, but yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of needs it.
yeah, if he do some manuing path, maybe we'll be able to see if he got the VIP card.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know Dark Phoenix because he went back specifically to get the other chest, but I don't know. But I don't know if he got that third one, the one that does have the Veep card in it. So now we're gonna see Name Faker armed, I believe, with the super bracelet, defeat Death Toll pretty easily.
Yeah, now Name Faker will go for the victory at this moment because everything is done now. All he has to do is that toll, since Jintatsu is trying to find an item that he already went, but he didn't check all the chests.
Yeah, he's I mean, all he needs is the one NPC release, but that's behind right tower. Unfortunately, he does not have the card, or at least it doesn't look like he does. Maybe we'll see. He might have just forgotten to mark it off. But yeah, here we go.
And now, Name Faker. He should not be difficult for him.
Yeah, this is going up against Death Toll is probably one of the easiest things that you have to do, especially when you have the super bracelet.
Yeah, the most important thing is not to slip up and be cuffed into the fire. But usually this is not a problem for most players. So Name Faker, the stream. Oh, and no, this is not time yet. One more cycle. Still not. No. I was sure that he's pretty much. The end is pretty near. The end time. So at 2:22 F51 for Name Faker, who took the pass
GG.
for the finale of the tournament tomorrow at noon Eastern time at 6 p.m. for Europe. So GG Name Faker.
At GG, and we'll see if see briefly if he would be interested in doing an interview. We'll try to get him here in just a little bit.
So Queen Anne is actually Lune. Jintatsu just finished the gold ship, and I wonder when. I don't know when it would go back into Model Town 1 because we know where it is that the card. So
Oh. So it looks like, unfortunately, Name Faker is not going to be available for an interview today. However, it will be interesting to see who gets second in this tournament. But GG's to really nice seed run by Name Faker. He had to go everywhere, of course. So that's that happens sometimes.
And Jintatsu is desperate. He went to see Lisa, so
Yep. Saw Lisa. He's gonna be looking for that Veep card for a while. Unfortunately, it's gonna be this is actually gonna be, I think, a tight race between Queen Anne and Jintatsu, because Queen Anne is actually going in the right direction now. And she is gonna have to go to Durian, but as soon as she goes to Durian, she will be able to get a path to the king, because I do believe she can. I don't know if she can go to World of Evil yet, actually. I think so. Yeah, Kugel Schnaps, this will be I will be cheering for you, because you got quite a you got that's quite a road ahead of you, sir.
yeah, you will be against three good runners of Soul Blazer Randomizer. So
Yeah, so Stormy and Solar, what happened was that Gentatsu went. He skipped. For some reason, I don't quite understand. He skipped the last chest in the first model town. He went back and got the other two, but he still doesn't have it, I don't think. And so it's a little bit baffling. We may have to ask him about that if if we get him for an interview. But I mean, he might be using the dynamic tracker. He might already have it, but I don't think he does.
I don't think I see it, but Jintatsu is also have a great wing, so I didn't have the time to catch if he got the VIP card. So yeah, this is a possibility that he has it, but he just didn't check it.
Yeah, this happens sometimes in tournaments. Is that and this happened last year too. Is like there's some really obvious spots that you can just
No,
he
he
can
did.
miss
No,
just
he
because.
did. He does not have the VIP card.
Yeah, that's oh no, I've been in this position before. Yeah, Kugel Shops. It was the it's kind of the last chest that you go to, the one that's behind the buildings. So I think he's just trying to see if he can find it somewhere, because I do believe this is the only place that he can go. So he has to. I think he's backtracking. I was in a very similar position last year, is that I forgot to step on a layer that had the snail boy that had the Veep card. So this is similar, unfortunately.
And where will Jintatsu go? I think he will go for
Yes.
the model stance.
I was going in the right direction. He's going in the right direction, so he might be we'll see if he picks this up.
Oh no, he go check the chest drawer next to Mary.
Oh, so close.
But will he do? No, he didn't redive into the model town. Oh man.
Well, before the race, I told Queenie that I had faith that she could beat Gentatsu. This might actually come to fruition. We'll have to see. But in all honesty, this does suck when this happens, because these are the kind of mistakes that unfortunately only happen during tournaments.
Yeah.
Oh no, is he gonna go to lane hole now? Oh no! But sometimes that's how you win tournaments, is just waiting for the other person to screw up, and it can be a good day for you.
And now Queen Anne is going for the lair to exit Loon.
That's
I
right,
don't.
Netta.
But I wonder if Queen Anne will actually go for World of Evil now. Now that she has the stone, and she did have King Meg.
Yeah, so she might. So she still has a couple places to go, but she might decide to go to.
But now she
She
seems
might.
to go. Okay, I thought she went for the king, but did she did
She still has to go to Durian is the thing.
yeah
To get that, you have to get that last area. So we'll see if she goes there. But it's still gonna take Jintatsu a while to figure out his mistake, I think.
and Queen Anne just opened her
Oh,
hand.
she's going to Durian.
Now which direction she will go? This the question that we are having now. And she go check Lou. And she go for
Oh, she's gonna do check Chungus.
yeah, Dong Chungus.
Mm-hmm.
This is not that bad bet, but
Yeah, it's not a bad play, and I think she's still gonna go to Durian regardless. So I think she's in good shape.
I think she will check options until she reach level 24. So
Mm-hmm. Yep. Big Chungus. Not gonna have anything useful, but he's the hype reef might have a couple of herbs. Yeah, thanks for dropping by, Dark Phoenix. And you should play this sometime. It's fun for the whole family.
yeah, I did the speed run. I tried the rando, and now I'm hooked to the rando. So this is a really great game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic rando. So praise be to LaHulk for creating it, and for Netta for organizing this tournament and for promoting the hell out of this tournament. So, and the randomizer.
Yeah. Now Queen Anne will finish that section of the seabed sanctuary.
Yeah, so she's not far off. She'll very likely do. I think she'll very likely be doing the Durian pretty soon. Although Durian is one of those places that some people like to. Oh no! Please don't tell me she's gonna go and do Lisa.
Yeah, that one would be a bad bet, even though we know that Lisa brings in nothing. But usually Lisa, you do it if you're desperate or only if you already have the dream run and Lisa, and you will go for underground castle too. So and she still has some difficulties with the chess.
Mm-hmm.
And Jintatsu will clear
Jintatsu.
Leno.
Yeah, he's gonna clear Leno. It's really just a matter of figuring out what his mistake is. So, because it's still neck and neck, but at the same time, Queen Anne is going for Durian. Here we go. But again, like I was saying earlier, I'm not surprised that Jintatsu went for Durian early on, because he always likes to say that Durian's the place that you have to go to get something done. In this case, he was right, but also picking up all the chests to get needed items is also usually a good idea. So.
And I think Jintetsu got all 8 swords, so
Yeah, so he's at least got a full collection of those.
I think the armor too, he has all 8 of them. So
Yeah, the thing is too is that Queen Anne might also decide to continue to look for items here in Durian because she still needs the red hot ball, and I'm still trying to figure out if she. I think she's. I mean, I think she did Leo's painting, but I'm not 100% sure. I think this is the only thing that she needs left is the Path to the King
I think
and the
she
red
did.
hot ball.
I think she did because she did cross the King Magril on her tracker. So
Mhm.
non, il y a pas de commentateur québécois. C'est quoi que tu penses, Pascal?
Yeah, it's not me. I'm not from Quebec. Okay, so it's really just a matter of yeah, because I'm pretty sure Queen is gonna figure out after she completes Durian, then we'll see what she does next.
No, it's pretty hard to hide the fact that I'm from Quebec with my accent. That is a fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, name faker. That was the seed that made you go everywhere. But it turns out that Jintatsu right now has a little bit of a VIP problem in a place that he's already cleared out the first model town, but skipped the chest. So that's Queen might pull this off.
Yeah, but the question for Queen Anne is when she will go to the world of evil.
Mm-hmm.
Will she wait until she's level 24, or will she dive into every world to do every spot that she can make? So
yeah, because she doesn't know where the red hot ball is, so she might do a lot of item checks before she goes there.
And Jintatsu, it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, he's running out of places to go, so he's doing the thing where he's trying to figure out like where he missed. But once he gets that Veep card, he'll be in a better spot. Yeah, that's the thing. A name faker is that we didn't even realize that there was still that the wood grandpa as well. So we were kind of like wondering, oh, why are you still opening layers? But that made sense. Is that you had to go to what was it? Rockbird and then Loon and then Durian. That's just like that's the definition of cruelty and suffering right there.
So Jen is thinking.
Jin's he's trying to figure it out.
Now we'll go for. He really tries to to see what he forgot.
Yeah, we were confused for a while because we thought that everybody was going the wrong way, but it turns out that it turns out the sea was just really trolly.
Yeah, when even the commentators are confused, that means that the seed is troll.
Yeah, because the tracker tells you many things, but it doesn't tell you if you've completely unleashed the Path of the King. So you'll have to excuse us for getting a little confused.
So Jintatsu is really checking.
Yeah, he's doing what I did last year, which was looking for every spot for the Veep card.
And Queen Anne will be done with Durian. I think she did have. I know she's still the level 23 though. So what will be is her decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Solar is that.
And the Jintetsu
It's
still, and I think that Jintetsu still need to go to Durian because
does he?
the
Oh
path to the
no.
king, was still blocked. So
Oh no. That's yeah. Queenie's way ahead. Then she just has to figure it out. Yeah, but I'm also bummed as well, Solar, because but my PC and SNEX 9X apparently decided to rebel. It was sad. But yeah, if Jin Tatsu still has not been to Durian, then yeah, Queenie's way ahead. But he might be going the right way.
nope, still doesn't want to go into the model towns. But now will we go to Durian to unblock to unlock? Durian it was. Do we unlock Durian into the right tower?
Maybe. It's entirely possible. I forget where Durian was, but oh no, Queen Anne, is she gonna go to? Okay, good. She's not going to Laynol. That would have been bad. Because I think that she's got a path available, so I think she just needs to item hunt. I think that's what she's doing right now.
Yeah, she is on the hunt for the Red Ball. So elemental
Yeah, so
mail.
Netta, to be fair, everybody is afraid of the Hulk, but that wasn't going to stop me. It was my PC that rebelled. It was basically a lost cause. I knew that I would have lost anyway.
And you still check everything.
Well, yeah, when you're second, when you have the second, when you're the silver in the world record, then it's a little bit less scary, but still.
And Gwinnett goes into Model Town too, so
yeah, so
I
Ah.
so she keep digging and hoping for level 24. I think she would get it into that into the Model Town. It's only 20 under less than the 20,000 experience point to go for.
And so yeah, I think she's taking a gamble if she's doing this world, but it's literally still anybody's game because Gentatsu unfortunately is trying to figure out what he missed. But he's being pretty thorough, like he's literally checking everywhere.
Yeah, now he's back into the prison dungeon. See if he missed a lair or a chest. Things that he could check with the start button. The painful walk is for the last.
Yeah, it's
for the last item.
yeah, it's just the problem is that I do think he went back to the first model town twice, so that he might be convinced he's already checked everything there. We'll see. Because yeah, you might be right. I think the Durian statue still might be there. I don't know if he's killed the bird yet. Actually, I don't even know if he can. I know he's got the mobile key, so might try that next.
Yeah, but he needs the VIP card to go into the right tower, so he can't go for the bird.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Jintetsu is back into Dr. Leo's lab. He's going for the. It still goes for taking a dip into the basement again. Make sure that he didn't forget anything.
Yeah. So he's backtracking. Who knows when he's gonna be able to figure out what he did? It's a rough place to be in, though. And so Queenie's almost done with Model Town 2. We'll see where she goes afterwards.
Yeah, she will open that path to the exit.